secrets from us just like love or liquor. Nobody will keep the things he hears to himself, and nobody will repeat just what he hears and no more. Neither will anyone who has failed to keep a story to himself keep the name of his informant to himself. Every person, without exception, has someone to whom he confides everything that is confided to himself. Even supposing he puts some guard on his garrulous tongue and is content with a single pair of ears, he will be the creator of a host of later listeners. Such is the way in which what was but a little while before a secret becomes common rumor. Never to wrong others takes one a long way towards peace of mind. People who know no self-restraint lead stormy and disordered lives, passing their time in a state of fear, commensurate with the injuries they do to others, never able to relax. After every act, they tremble, paralyzed, their consciences continually demanding an answer, not allowing them to get on with other things. To expect punishment is to suffer it, and to earn it is to expect it. Where there is a bad conscience, some circumstance or other may provide one with impunity, but never with freedom from anxiety. For a person takes the attitude that even if he isn't found out, there's always the possibility of it. His sleep is troubled. Whenever he talks about someone else's misdeed, he thinks of his own, which seems to him all too inadequately hidden, all too inadequately blotted out of people's memories. A guilty person sometimes has the luck to escape detection, but never to feel sure of it. Letter number 107. Where's that moral insight of yours? Where's that acuteness of perception or magnanimity? Does something as trivial as that upset you? Your slaves have seen your absorption in business as their chance to run away. So be it. You have been let down by friends. For by all means, keep the name we mistakenly bestowed on them, and be called such just to heighten their disgrace. But the fact is that your affairs have been freed for good, and all of a number of people on whom all your trouble was being wasted, and who considered you insufferable to anyone but yourself. There's nothing unusual or surprising about it all. To be put out by this sort of thing is as ridiculous as grumbling about being spattered in the street or getting dirty where it's muddy. One has to accept life on the same terms as the public baths or crowds or travel. Things will get thrown at you and things will hit you. Life's no soft affair. It's a long road you started on. You can't but expect to have slips and knocks and falls and get tired and openly wish, a lie, for death. At one place you will part from a companion, at another bury one, and be afraid of one at another. These are the kind of things you'll come up against all along this rugged journey. Wanting to die? Let the personality be made ready to face everything. Let it be made to realize that it has come to terrain on which thunder and lightning play, terrain on which grief and vengeful care have set their couch, and pallid sickness dwells, and drear old age. This is the company in which you must live out your days. Escape them you cannot, scorn them you can, and scorn them you will, if by constant reflection you have anticipated future happenings. Everyone faces up more bravely to a thing for which he has long prepared himself, sufferings even being withstood if they have been trained for in advance. Those who are unprepared, on the other hand, are panic-stricken by the most insignificant happenings. We must see to it that nothing takes us by surprise. And since it is invariably unfamiliarity that makes the thing more formidable than it really is, this habit of continual reflection will ensure that no form of adversity finds you a complete beginner. I've been deserted by my slaves. Others have been plundered, incriminated, set upon, betrayed, beaten up, attacked with poison or with calumny. Mention anything you like. It has happened to plenty of people. A vast variety of missiles are launched with us as their target. Some are planted in our flesh already. Some are hurtling towards us at this very moment. Others merely grazing us in passing on their way to other targets. Let's not be taken aback by any of the things we're born to, things no one need complain at, for the simple reason that they're the same for everybody. Yes, the same for everybody. For even if a man does escape something, it was a thing which he might have suffered. The fairness of a law does not consist in its effect being actually felt by all alike, but in its having been laid down for all alike. Let's get this sense of justice firmly into our heads and pay up, without grumbling, the taxes arising from our mortal state. Winter brings in the cold, and we have to shiver. Summer brings back the heat, and we have to swelter. Bad weather tries the health, and we have to be ill. Somewhere or other we are going to have encounters with wild beasts, and with man, too, more dangerous than all those beasts. Floods will rob us of one thing, fire of another. These are conditions of our existence which we cannot change. What we can do is adopt a noble spirit, such a spirit as befits a good man, so that we may bear up bravely under all that fortune sends us, and bring our wills into tune with nature's. Reversals, after all, are the means by which nature regulates this visible realm of hers. Clear skies follow cloudily. After the calm comes the storm. The winds take turns to blow. Day succeeds night. While part of the heavens is in the ascendant, another is sinking. It is by means of opposites that eternity endures. This is the law to which our minds are needing to be reconciled. This is the law they should be following and obeying. They should assume that whatever happens was bound to happen, and refrain from railing at nature. One can do nothing better than endure what cannot be cured, and attend uncomplainingly the God at whose instance all things come about. It is a poor soldier that follows his commander grumbling. So let us receive our orders readily and cheerfully, and not desert the ranks along the march of this glorious fabric of creation, in which everything we shall suffer is a strand. And let us address Jupiter, whose guiding hand directs this mighty work, in the way our own Cleanthes did, in some most expressive lines, which I may perhaps be pardoned for translating in view of the example set here by that master of expressiveness, Cicero. If you like them, so much the better. If not, you will at least know that I was following Cicero's example. Lead me, master of the soaring vault of heaven, lead me, Father, where you will. I stand here prompt and eager to obey. And even suppose I were unwilling, still I should attend you and know suffering, dishonorably and grumbling, when I might have done so and been good as well. For fate, the willing leads, the unwilling drags along. Let us speak and live like that. Let fate find us ready and eager. Here is your noble spirit, the one which has put itself in the hands of fate. On the other side, we have the puny, degenerate spirit, which struggles, and which sees nothing right in the way the universe is ordered, and would rather reform the gods than reform itself. Letter number 108. The subject you ask me about is one of those in which knowledge has no other justification than the knowledge itself. And nevertheless, and just because it is so justified, you're in a great hurry and reluctant to wait for the encyclopedia of ethics I'm compiling at this very moment. Well, I shall let you have your answer immediately, but first I'm going to tell you how this enthusiasm for learning, with which I can see you're on fire, is to be brought under control if it isn't going to stand in its own way. What is wanted is neither haphazard dipping nor a greedy onslaught on knowledge in the mass. The whole will be reached through its parts, and the burden must be adjusted to our strength. We mustn't take on more than we can manage. You shouldn't attempt to absorb all you want to, just what you've room for. Simply adopt the right approach, and you will end up with room for all you want. The more the mind takes in, the more it expands. I remember a piece of advice which Attalus gave me in the days when I practically laid siege to his lecture hall, always first to arrive and last to go, and would draw him into a discussion of some point or other, even when he was out taking a walk, for he was always readily available to his students, not just accessible. A person teaching and a person learning, he said, should have the same end in view, the improvement of the latter. A person who goes to a philosopher should carry away with him something or other of value every day. He should return home a sounder man, or at least more capable of becoming one. And he will, for the power of philosophy is such that she helps not only those who devote themselves to her, but also those who come into contact with her. A person going out into the sun, whether or not this is what he is going out for, will acquire a tan. Customers who sit around rather too long in a shop selling perfumes carry the scent of the place away with them. And people who have been with a philosopher are bound to have derived from it something of benefit even to the inattentive. Note that I say inattentive, not the hostile. That's all very well, but don't we all know certain people who have sat at a philosopher's feet year after year without acquiring even a semblance of wisdom? Of course I do. Persevering, conscientious people too. I prefer to call them a philosopher's squatters, not students. Some come not to learn, but just to hear him, in the same way as we're drawn to a theatre for the sake of entertainment, to treat our ears to a play or music or an address. You'll find that a large proportion of the philosopher's audience is made up of this element, which regards his lecture hall as a place of lodging for periods of leisure. They're not concerned to rid themselves of any faults there or acquire any rule of life by which to test their characters, but simply to enjoy to the full the pleasures the ear has to offer. Admittedly,